Okay, guys, so in Iron, by far, the biggest question I get is, hey, can you review my opt-in page? And so in this two-part series right here, I'm going to be really covering a very concrete way to build really good opt-ins and headlines. But here's the thing that we need to cover first. What I see is completely running rampant in Iron right now is a complete misunderstanding of one's niche and what the customer's problems are and who the customer is and what the niche responds to and buys. For example, I was on a live stream the other day, and this isn't a problem, this is just something that you kind of learn over time, and people keep asking me to review their headlines for their products. That's great, awesome, but people seem to be thinking that if you put the right words in order in a specific combination of promises, people are going to opt in at higher rates, and that's not the case. The most important thing behind any headline is the message and the person connecting with the message and wanting what the message is offering. And you can't offer someone something they want unless you know them and how they're going to respond. And so it doesn't matter how good your headline is. It doesn't matter how well formatted it is or what steps you've used to create the headline. It doesn't matter if you don't understand the person you're talking to. I could come up to you and say any combination of sales messages, but if it's not something you want in the first place, it's not going to be very alluring. And so what I want to talk about is when you're thinking about your Uber promise, it actually hurts my head that I didn't say this early on in videos, but you need to go out there and you need to spend so much time and you need to be the master of your niche. You need to know everything people are buying, all the things they're thinking. And one of the best ways you can do this is actually being the customer of your own product, but this isn't always the case. Okay, I have a big advantage here at HighRisk because I'm the customer of my own product. But what you're going to need to do in your niche is you need to spend time, you need to know the top 10 best-selling products. You need to know what their names are. You need to watch their sales videos. You need to know the presentations. You need to know everything about them. The way I really discovered and made tons of progress at HCOM that I must stress is I always made progress not through optimizing my ads a little bit more or by making a slightly better button on my opt-in pages. It was by understanding what the customer really wants and digging deeper and deeper into it. I would watch Sam's webinars. I'd watch Dan Henry's webinars. I'd watch any person who's running a Make Money Online webinar and watch what people were responding to and why they were responding to it. And I'd deeply analyze those. And I'd really start to see the trends and the messages that were being talked about in the industry and that people were responding to. And what you want to do is you want to go and write out a big list of things that are very important. What do the customers hate? What things do they not want to do? What results do they want to get without doing these things? What are they afraid of? What is the end result? Why have they not done this on their own? You should know all these things. Okay, what is the result at HighRisk? People want cheaper leads. What do they hate when their ads scale up and their CPL is increasing and they can't see their sales and so they know they're wasting money? What things do they not want to do? Well, they don't want to do complicated tracking. They don't want to do advanced coding. They don't want 50 different systems. What things are they afraid of? Their ads not being profitable, ads never scaling. Those ad sales are not tracking, all that hidden waste inside their account. Why have they not done this on their own? Because it's too complicated and it doesn't make any sense, and they don't even see the value in it right up front because they think, oh, their tracking might be good enough. I know all these things about the customer. I can just sit here and talk about HighRisk customers all day long. I can also talk about Shopify customers all day long and what they don't want to do and Make Money Online customers. And the reason I can do that is first off because I've thought about it a whole lot, but secondly because I've just known and researched the niche so much. I've been in the Facebook groups. I've seen what people are looking for. I've seen the things that they're asking about in those groups. I've looked at all the best-selling products. I've watched the sales videos, and you're going to see the same messages going through sales videos and the most popular sales scripts in your industry. And so you need to be researching the niche and the customer and what their problem is, or you need to be sitting down and talking with them extensively just about what their problems are and really saying what things they're most interested in, because you can't sell what people aren't interested in. You can't just say, well, I mean, I think this is what the customer really wants. I think this is what the customer is really going to respond. You got to know. And if you don't know, or the biggest sign is if you are asking me to make your headlines for you, you're asking me to say, hey, will customers like this headline? Formatting wise, I can help you all day, but I don't know anything about your niches. I don't know anything about your customer. And if you're asking me, a guy who knows nothing about it, for advice on your customer, that is a sign that you are fundamentally lost. So I'm going to give you a few ideas on how to research your niche. The first thing you need to be doing is you need to be embedded in the forums and the Facebook groups for these niches. You need to be a fly on the wall, and you need to know the people that you're selling to better than anybody else. I mean, better than anybody else. You should never, ever, ever be asking me for anything other than how should I format the headline. I'm going to give you a formatting here in a second. But if you don't know what they're responding to, you don't know what's going to turn them off, you are, excuse my French, I don't like cussing this course, so unbelievably fucked. Because you're going and trying to write these really long webinar pitches, these really long sales videos, these really long phone call pitches, when you don't even know what turns the person off. You don't even know what they actually want. So you can be selling them something they don't even want. And so you're going to look at the pitch and the script and the opt-ins and your ads and be trying to optimize all these things when the core problem is you're just giving the person nothing that they want and doing probably a lot of things that are turning them off. That's why I don't talk about advanced tracking. That's why I don't ever mention tracking really in the house pitch. And I talk about loss and gain. I know my customers are super gain and loss oriented, and they want a push button way to do it. So a few things you need to do is, first off, I talked about forums. I talked about Facebook groups. Another thing is you need to know the best-selling products. You need to go and browse around. Look on Google for the best-selling products in your niche of all time. Look in ClickBank at the best-selling products of all time on there. One thing I looked at through doing this is I went and found, for example, when I was in a dating niche a long, long time ago, I knew every single product that was the best-selling product. I can tell you to this day what they were. David D'Angelo's Double Your Dating, Pandora's Box. Okay, this thing right here sold millions and tens of millions of dollars worth of product right here. It's a gross sales page, so I'm not going to go through it, but Pandora's Box, and it was all about which 3 science questions scientists use to get laid. Okay, really gross thing, but what the whole entire point of this product was how you could walk up to a girl without anything to lose, without putting yourself in the line, without taking a risk or feeling like you were hitting on her, and ask her 3 questions that automatically know what to say to her that would make her like you. And the reason why this works so well is guys in the dating niche don't want to feel icky when they talk to girls. They're scared of running out of things to talk about when they go to say a girl, to go look at a girl. They don't want to put themselves at risk. They don't want to face rejection. You can't be rejected if you never put anything else online. They want the girl to not know that he's hitting on them, so they don't have to feel, again, like in the chance where they can face rejection. They want a low-risk, no-rejection method to walk up to a girl and say things without her ever being skeptical of them, without them ever putting anything on the line, to instantly know what to say to a girl so they never run out of things to say. That's what guys want. And this headline right here encompasses all of that. This entire sales page is about that. And if you look at most dating products, you're going to see that echoing throughout all the products. Okay, so I'm going to go look at this site. I found a site that has the best-selling products on here. Here we go. Like, look, Pandora's Box right here. All right, just please, let's use our what's the word for it? Grown-up skills right here. But I'm researching this niche right here, and I'm doing this live right in front of you. And so I'm looking at all the things right here. And I would go and watch every single one of these sales videos. Okay, I'd go watch every single one of these sales videos. Same thing. Like, where do you think I figured out how people are responding to sales call funnels? I went and watched a lot of the sales call funnels out there, and the best performing one, 9 University, I watched how they were performing on that. I watched exactly how Andrew Argue and Sam Ovens and their products were talking in their videos. Okay? And so I would go and research the niche. I go and watch every single product. I go and buy the other products. I go and look at what people are responding to, and I go look at the headlines that people are using. In the dating niche, it's resounding just all the things I just covered. And if you don't have that, what you need to be doing, let's say you're in a niche where you're selling to contractors, you're selling to people that are doing construction on houses. What I would do is I would just sit down with them and talk to them about all the things what their big problems are, what their issues are. You must know the customer in the niche. You must know their problems better than they do, or it's never, ever, ever going to work. Okay? And so just going through these sales pages right here, going through Facebook groups, going through forums, you have to have such a huge in-depth hypothesis of what the customer is looking for. It's never going to work. You have to know what they want. Okay? And then you have to go and test it. Once you then know what they want, then you can format it in a way that's extremely attractive. And what people are looking for when it comes to a product that they're buying or anything they're going to swing in, it's these 5 things. This comes to a headline. This comes with writing your pitch. What you're offering has to offer them a desired result. Let's look at how I've done this in the high-risk one. The desired result, customers 52% cheaper. And the ad itself talks about scaling by getting customers cheaper. They want to scale. They want, and you have to understand it's your ad, your webinar, your opt-in, they're all interconnected with what the customer wants, and you're just playing off what they want the entire time. And so the desire they want is to scale. They want to spend less money and make more money in return. Does your headline, does your webinar, does your product offer a desired result? Does it offer it in a suggested fast time frame when you're making an opt-in? All right, I might just actually reduce this to one video. Okay, I'm just going to put a timestamp. When you're talking on your opt-ins, when you're talking about your headline, what you also want to do is, you know what I said, is there a suggested fast time frame? Copy and paste. This right here suggests that they can do it quickly. Does it meet that criteria? Yes. Is there a realistic, you're behind the curve explanation? What does that mean? When you're formulating your product, when you're formulating your pitch, when you're formulating your opt-in, is there something on here that they feel that they should know, but they don't know because they're behind the curve? So, for example, if I say how we train Facebook and Google's AIs to find us customers cheaper, or how we use print tracking plus AI modeling to find us customers cheaper, people think this is, this is actually legitimate. This is how we optimize ads. But this is something that people don't think they already know, and they think they should know because they're behind the times. Oh, they're using AI already? Man, I don't know this stuff. I'm going to opt in. You have to have a person think to themselves, man, are people already using this? What is this thing that is, do people already know this? Is this some type of science I haven't heard of because I just haven't been doing enough research? That's how people need to feel when they read your headline. You can't just go and put something like how I use the, let's say, the craving artist ad buying method to get customers 52% cheaper. People are going to be like, you just made up a word. That doesn't make any sense. It has to be something that sounds legitimate to them. So when I was talking to the person about dating, I said, well, how I use CPT models, cognitive modeling traits or something. That's what it stands for, or cognitive behavior traits. I looked it up for 2 seconds, and then I put that in the title itself. That's something that sounds scientific, like they have not figured it out before. That's how people should feel, like, oh man, I'm behind the times. I've never heard of that. But it has to sound realistic. It has to be presented as something they've never seen before. It has to be presented as something they've never seen before. And it has to be suggested as easy to apply. So what have they never seen before? Well, how to use Google's, Facebook, and AIs. Okay? And it's easy to apply. Well, it's a copy and paste tracking script that does the heavy lifting for them. You can see I put a bunch of other benefits that have to do with the desired result, but that's what you must do in your headlines. That's how you make a good headline. But first and foremost, you must research the customer, and you must know them so you know exactly what things to pinpoint and what things turn them on. So when you're looking at your headlines, does it offer a desired result? Is there a suggestion of a fast time frame? Is there a realistic, you're behind the curve explanation for how you do it? Is it something that is easy to apply, can be templated, copy and pasted, done without effort, press button? And is it something they've never seen before? If you have these 5 things and they're based around this thing, you're going to have an incredible headline. And all you really need to do is rearrange the order, change about how you're wording it, and you're going to succeed. The other thing I need to add right here, number 6, is it must be extremely clear, clearly written, short to the point, as little words as possible. And then you need to split test it. That's it. But as you're going through your pitch, as you're going through these things, you need to understand this is what people like. This is what people want. If you're offering a product that doesn't offer the desired result in an upfront, straightforward way, it's not going to work. If it's not offering something in a suggested fast time frame, people aren't going to want to do it. If they don't feel behind the curve, if they don't buy your product, if they don't feel like they're missing out on something, it's not going to work. If it's something they've seen before and they believe they already know or can figure out, it's not going to work. That's why you don't go out there and just say, oh man, I have a Shopify product. Or, hey, we're going to use NLP in dating, which is something that's been around for 10 years. This is why I don't say, hey, how I use tracking to scale my ads. No. And if it's easy to apply, well, I could say, well, how I use advanced analytical tracking to scale my ads. But that doesn't sound easy to apply, so no one's going to buy it. So you can see I factor these 5 things in while mastering my niche. I cannot even tell you how to research your niche properly, completely, because each niche is different. All I can tell you is that if you look in Facebook groups, forums, and all the products that are selling in an info niche, you're going to have a pretty good idea of what messaging people are going to look for. If you're in a B2B niche where there aren't widely available videos, you must be talking to customers and look at what's selling. For example, if I was in a gym niche or something similar to selling to local business owners, I would look at Alex Hormozi's gym funnel and say, why does this work so well? Look at niches that are similar to your niche, marketing to the similar types of people, and say, how is he talking to these people that I can translate to my niche? Because a gym owner probably isn't that different than a spa owner. A spa owner probably isn't that different than a convenience store owner. They all have businesses, they want to make more money. So if I can go out there and say, what things are working and communicating with these gym owners, how can I translate to my niche? And then I would sit down with those people and say, does this thing bother you? What are the biggest problems? Where are the things where you're losing money at? What are the things in your business that if increased by 10% would go and blow up your business? You must sit down with us and you must be the master of your niche and you must know everything about the customer or it will never ever work. And so this is one video I really wanted to make in the program because I don't think a lot of people are getting this and people are asking me to tell them about their customers, and it is such a sign that you don't understand your niche. And if you don't understand your niche, it will never ever work because you have to understand the person for your headlines to work. I can put these 5 things in a headline right here, but if it's not based around this, it won't work. I can order it perfectly and use the words in every certain order. It'd be like if I walked up to a girl and I said the perfect words and the perfect routine and the perfect strategy, or a girl or guy, and said the perfect thing, but it was based around something that the person doesn't want, it will completely fall apart. Will completely fall apart. So if you have questions about this, ask me group, and I'll keep expanding on this. I'll keep expanding on this. I'll keep expanding on this. But this is the biggest thing that a lot of people are lacking in iron. And so this is how you're going to go and make your headlines. This is how you're going to go make your opt-ins. This is what you need to base your entire pitch around. You need to keep in the back of your head. You should write this down and put this next to you whenever you're writing headlines or writing any copy, because this is very important.